atin.
Hi everyone, good morning. This is Marivir here on Woodside. I am with Ambassador Mario Lopez de Leon, who is going to be our guest for this morning. And we are walking on Woodside on our way to have breakfast and a good chat. So, hope you join us and enjoy. For joining me for breakfast.
Good morning, Maribel.
Good morning
Thank you.
po.
Yeah, good way to start the day.
Yeah, healthy breakfast.
Yeah, that's right. Avocado. my favorite.
Avocado toast with black coffee. Sarap
Yeah.
naman. Amba, tell me, kamusta ka na? How's your life in this retirement phase? Masaya ba in New York? Happy ba?
Well, I've been retired for more than 5 years. Actually, 5 years and 2 months. To be exact.
And I see you everywhere
And,
in here.
Okay, let me put it this way. When I retired, I stayed first in the Philippines. So I was going here to New York more to visit the family. But things don't go as you planned it. No, I wanted to serve more the government, but it was a new government, and it was hard to get a position. So when I came to the conclusion that I don't think I can push this further, I asked my daughter, why don't you just petition me here? So started the petition process.
I see.
Okay, so in short, end of 2018, I already went back here. You could have seen me 2017 and early 2018.
I think I have lost my good memory on that, but
Yeah.
I still felt that hindi ka pa retired.
Yeah, and people
Like
thought,
you're just around, like,
and I was around, and I
Yeah.
attended many events. People continue to
invite
me,
you.
special events. So, yeah, but you enjoy that only for a year or two.
Oh, yeah.
But then, you want to go back to a certain routine. Problema. Of
Yeah.
course,
Yun pala ang feeling ng retired.
kasi sa first year or even up to the second year, if you're enjoying it, in fact, you traveled a lot.
Right.
He said, "Oh well, this is life. This is a good life. Walang stress, all that." But
You want something more
when
na.
I returned here back to New York, and I'm used to a certain routine here. But I really have to do something, right? That's when I started thinking of really not really going to business, but making use of the skills, the knowledge I have to go into consultancy. It's more of consultancy that I went to. So I did some part-time consultancy, even in business immigration. Then I dealt with a group that was more into providing loans to small businesses.
Oh, I see.
And that's something that really excited me. Not because I'm into finance, no, but because it's a way of helping.
What year was this?
It was already late 2018.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, because
Is it still going on?
Yeah, it is. It's still going on. It's part time as far as I'm concerned. Well, when your deals work or you have clients, pera ka. But it's not
Easy lang.
It's easy life. It's not stressing me so much because I only deal with the people involved in it once or twice at the most every week.
So are they mostly based in New York or the US?
Let me put it this way: we deal primarily with servicing small businesses in the tri-state area.
Okay.
Particularly New York and New Jersey. There's a group that handles the loan part. We are the one who handle the business plans that are required
to
a
get the loan.
yeah, to support the loan application.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so what we did is I made use of my connections with the BPO industry, business process outsourcing industry.
Mm-hmm.
Because here it's quite expensive to have a business plan if you ask a group to do
Yeah,
it. No?
yeah,
Of course, there are students who do it, but you don't get the quality that you need. No?
right.
They might write well, kaya lang,
Yeah.
they're not they don't have
Experienced.
their foot on the ground when it comes to businesses.
Mhm.
Diba? They write well. So we decided to deal with a BPO company in the Philippines. Pinapasa namin dun sa kanila.
I see.
Okay, so we get it at a lower cost.
So
we
you're
pass it on at a very competitive price as well. So that's what I've been doing.
do you find that exciting
Exciting
or
in the
more
sense that it
challenging?
went back to what I initially did. Siguro
Mhm.
hindi nyo naman alam yung past ko before I entered the foreign service.
Oh, tell us.
Yeah, I used to work for the private sector. I was
Mhm.
with SGB, Sisi Boris Velayo.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And
Were you in the accounting side,
no,
financial
I was
side?
in the management services.
Oh, okay.
Then I went to a pharmaceutical company.
Mhm.
It no longer exists now. It was bought by Pfizer. It's Wyatt.
Oh, yeah, I heard of it.
If you're familiar with Wyatt, it's under the American Home Products.
Mhm.
Right? In the Philippines, it's more well known for its infant nutritional, yung S26.
Right, of
SMA.
course, yes.
Familiar ka ron.
Oo, parang
Okay.
nainom yata yan ng anak ko.
Yes. Yeah, my children also
Ah.
had that as a
Yes, yes.
infant nutritional.
Mhm.
So I was involved in that.
Oh,
But more on the market
amazing.
research. More on market research.
So what happened and you became a diplomat? What did it land on your lap or was it something you also envisioned?
No, this is the way it happened. When after two stints in private corporations, like SBB, which is management consulting, and Wyatt, which is a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
I thought that I might be more of service, at least to the country, if I go government. No? That time, fortunately, Teddy Peña, who was the administrator of EPSA, the export control, was looking for an assistant. Okay, he was also the political deputy minister for trade and trade or industry. I think it was.
Who was the president then?
It was still Marcos at the time.
Oh, okay.
President Marcos, and industry secretary was Bobby Ongpin.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that started my stint in government. But if you know, it's government corporation, hindi bureaucracy.
Yeah, you
Okay.
may have a lot of room to
Yeah,
explore and be innovative.
So in other words, the learnings I had in the private sector
Applied.
easily applied in that setting. But of course, you have to conform to COA rules. Medyo yun yung iba ron no?
Oh.
And of course, government regulations, cost of procurement, all that. But it helped a lot. And that particular stint exposed me really to multilateral organizations like World Bank, UNDP, OECF of Japan, ADB,
Really?
and even DBP, which was the Development Bank of the Philippines. So I got involved in loan negotiations for the Export Processing Loan Authority, and I was involved with making feasibility studies. That's how we call it.
Oh my
before.
God, that's
Hindi
really
hindi
serious.
Hindi business feasibility study. Okay, so I learned the rudiments of the job.
And you liked it most of all.
Yeah, because that was the time that I traveled all over the Philippines. Before I joined the foreign service, I traveled all over the Philippines. We handled the regional cities development project. I handled the industry sector.
Mm.
We were in 4 cities at the time: Cagayan de Oro,
Oh.
Zamboanga, no, Cagayan de Oro, Davao City. Then in the Visayas, it was Bacolod and Iloilo City.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually we added Zamboanga.
Very exciting.
That was during the time of I think the Mindanao conflict was not yet over at that time,
Uh-huh.
particularly in the Zamboanga area. So those were exciting times, no?
Was it scary or more? It was okay.
Yeah, it was a challenge. It was part of time. I was young at the time.
Hindi ka pa married nun?
No, I was already married.
Okay.
But stay in a hotel, bigla sa gabi makakarinig ka ng kala mo fireworks, but actually those were encounters.
Nag-conflict na pala yun. Oh gosh. So how did you become part of the DFA?
It started there. That's what I'm saying. I became more interested in these international organizations. So I said to myself, why not try joining the Foreign Service? And because of that stint also with government,
all right,
I was able to travel to Southeast Asia. I visited the various export processing zones in Korea, South Korea, Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia.
So it's very exciting to see, I think, the products that are being promoted per country. I mean, the way I look at it.
Yeah, we were competing against Southeast Asia at that time. But, during that time, we were way ahead of Indonesia.
Oh.
We were way ahead of Vietnam. Vietnam at that time was still it's not capitalist at all. So, you deal with them more on a political level. Then we went to China. It was more of Hong Kong. We went to Hong Kong. Only we wanted to see Shenzhen at the time because they were already planning Shenzhen.
My question po ako, at that time while you were there, what was the competitive advantage of the Philippines? What were we promoting? What did we have?
It's actually labor. It's still the same. It's labor.
Okay.
And we came out with a concept of an export processing zone where everything was done. For companies to easily set up, there were standard factory buildings. In fact, if I'll be
in Cebu, there's a map.
Yeah, Mactan.
Yeah.
I was involved in the feasibility study of Mactan.
Oh, okay.
And I remember it was Lapu-Lapu City, right?
Yeah, the tiny island there.
Yeah, and
where the airport is.
Yeah, and the mayor at that time was Patalinghog.
Mayor Patalinghog. Yes, I remember him.
Okay, so I'm quite familiar with Mactan.
Amazing.
Yeah. I was also involved in the Baguio City Export Processing Zone when my boss tried to encourage Texas Instruments to locate there. So we were dealing with the big guys at that time.
And that's good because that's the business side. And it's really like you see output really clearly, tangibly. So maganda rin kasing isulat yung mga ganon po, Amba, yung mga stories from the DTIN, from MEPS. So I love that. Like you see, hindi lang laway ba? Storya ng mga leaders in the community.
Simply because at the time, that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
Because you generate employment in the regions. People were not talking about regional development at that time yet. So everything was centralized in Manila. Very centralized. Even Cebu, which is supposed to be the most developed at the time.
It tried hard to not be decentralized.
But still, it was quite controlled by Manila at the time.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, right? And Davao, I remember Davao.
Very much. So you were, I think, part of that batch that really diffused everything down to the locals.
I really believed in regional development because I saw its impact. As you bring development to the countryside, you bring employment to the countryside, and that helps decongest urban areas. particularly Metro Manila.
So did you miss this kind of job because you jumped to diplomacy? What happened?
No, it's not that. It's just that
It was just the journey.
uh, no, I found traveling quite. Of course, traveling is always exciting.
Enriching, yeah.
And it's enriching. You get to know culture,
Uh-uh.
other people. So I said, well, why not try the foreign service?
Mm.
Kasi when I traveled to Southeast Asia, syempre sinusuto kami ng mga consuls na.
Oh,
Because I was a UNDP fellow that time.
oh.
And we were entertained with ambassador.
So you like that?
So sabi ko, oh, that seems to be a good job. Maybe I'll try that.
Oh my God. And which you did.
Yeah. So, after
Mahirap ba
much,
buwa yung exam? Did you go through the rigors of the exam and all that?
of course,
Mhm.
during our time, they changed already the way it's done right now. Maraming cases of elimination.
Oh.
During our time, they give the written exams to everyone, okay? As long as you submit the necessary requirements, you qualify,
Mm.
and you can take the exam. First time when I took it, it was 1985. We were more than 1,000 who took it.
Wow. And how many are to be
It was for 3
admitted?
days, no?
Oh.
Because that's just the written exams.
So ano pinag-aaralan niyo doon?
Well, everything
International
from
law?
international law, international economics. You have to be very well versed in current events.
Mhm.
You have to know the Philippine National Development Plan, which is NEDA.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So your background helped you, I guess.
Yeah, my background helped me a lot, particularly on the development plans. Yeah, international economics, that's all part of international politics. We also discuss that because there's a portion also on diplomacy, diplomatic and consular practices. So I really have to review a book on consular practices like the Vienna Convention.
Was it like taking the bar? Now you really have to intensively study for months?
Yes, but unlike the bar where it's all focused on the law, right?
Yeah.
This one was really varied.
Right, right.
And you also take a foreign language exam.
Oh no.
So, and you also take Filipino, by the way.
So my friend told me it's one of the toughest exams in the Philippines.
It's tough simply because
You deal with
I
the
know
world.
many lawyers do not pass it. Something I can tell you.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
You have to have the experience as well and the wide range of
And you should be a wide
mindset.
reader.
Yeah.
You should have a lot of, I would say, interest in reading current events all over the world, right?
Gosh. Mhm.
You should be very familiar with what's written in the Time magazine, Newsweek.
All right.
Wala pa yung CNN was already there that time, but we didn't have cable TV that time.
My
Hindi ko
God.
napapanood yun, no? And of course, Far Eastern Economic TV was very helpful.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
I made it a point to really read that.
So ano ang pinaka best experience nyo, post nyo, that as far as you can remember, na lugar na gusto mo? Favorite.
Well, let
Favorite.
me put it this way. I was
Mhm.
first posted in San Francisco, which is a city I love. Right?
Right.
I like the climate, and
For how long po?
I was just there for more than a year. Because when they started looking for officers for the Philippine mission to the UN,
Mm.
the Undersecretary for Policy went to San Francisco,
Mhm.
and he was with Ambassador Pilaes. Then he talked to me, and he said, "How come you're here?"
Uh-huh.
I was a little surprised at the question. You know that you should be in New York where they need you.
Mm.
So I didn't reply. I was enjoying already San Francisco.
Yeah.
And look at your background. You spent 3 years with the UN International Organization's office in Manila, which I did.
Uh-huh.
Which I did. No?
practice na yun pagka-diplomat.
Yeah. Multilateral diplomacy.
Mhm.
It's more of that. So, sabi niya ganun na, I'm recommending that you be transferred to New York.
Wow.
Bigla ako, especially Eleanor.
Yeah.
Eleanor was really
But it's
surprised
exciting.
because she already had a job in San Francisco.
Oh.
She was with a titling company. So sabi ko, well, what can we do? Utos na yun. So,
Amazing.
I went to the mission. Okay, so that was my first job when I went to New York. And Claro Cristobal
Was the boss?
was also my batchmate.
Oh, batchmate.
Yeah, because we entered the same time.
Oh.
Although he took the exams ahead of me, but we entered the department almost the same time. So, Claro has always been a colleague since that time.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
you've come a long way together.
Yeah, we come a long way, right? So that's how it started. So
How was
I went
how
to
was the
New York.
experience in New York? Did you like it much better than SFO? Ah,
It was a shock.
It was a shock.
It was a shock. That's one thing I'll tell
in terms of the crowd here.
No, it's not the crowd. I love the diversity of New York. You don't feel
Uh-huh.
like a foreigner here.
Mm.
What really shocked me was all of the news on crime, what's happening in the subway
Yeah.
at that time.
What year was this?
And I'm talking about 1990.
Oh, it was bad at that time. Gosh.
Yeah, it was.
Did you feel it was scary for your life?
Because
No.
your job in the UN is you go attending meetings, conferences
Mm-mm.
in the headquarters, right?
Yeah.
Which is, of course, at the corner of 41st and First Street, right? First Avenue, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So since I'm going home to New Jersey, I have to take the bus going to Port Authority.
Right.
Sometimes the bus is so full that you can't wait for it. You decide to walk. If it's early, it's fine. And then you go to from 7th Avenue all the way to 9th Avenue where the Port Authority is.
Yeah, that's kind of a scary area.
Yeah, it was quite scary that time. You had all of those peep shows and the people around were not exactly friendly looking.
No, they were scary looking. Even now.
Yeah, so anyway, that was my experience, and
Okay.
and so it made my work hard because when I was in the UN, I was a rapporteur of the Third Committee of the General Assembly, and at that time wala pa kasi yung mga
Hindi pa high-tech.
no, hindi yun. That time they didn't put limits on meetings, no?
Oh.
So we had meetings up to 9 p.m.
PM.
Sometimes even 10.
It's draining.
Yeah, negotiation, it helped you a lot because you start listening to how people negotiate, different nations negotiate. But it's a little hard going home at 10 and I'm going to New Jersey. I arrived home 11.
Mm-hmm. And then you report again the following day. Yeah.
Don't dare walk. Or
7.
I really have to wait for the MTA bus.
Yeah.
Just to go to Port Authority.
And then wala pa namang app noon na you will wait na 3 minutes na lang.
Oh, wala.
Walang
You simply
indicator.
have to wait for the next
boy.
bus, right? Di ba? And you look at the schedule, hindi naman nasusunod.
Oh
yun.
yeah, kasi sa actual route iba.
Yeah, so,
Oh gosh.
so that was my experience there. But if you're doing it so many times, you get used to it.
For how long was this? In the first stint in New York?
3 years. I did that up to the year 1990 to 1993. Then after that, they transferred me together again with Claro.
Oh.
We constituted the first investment promotion unit of the consulate. That's how I entered the consulate.
Here in New York.
Yeah, we had the rank of consul, but we were doing primarily economic diplomacy.
Uh-huh.
I was not.
I
signing-
remember the
I was not
content.
signing passports at the time. we did actual economic work,
Mhm.
and
At the UN or at the consulate?
at the consulate.
Uh-huh.
We were transferred not to the
Mhm,
consulate, and we were given nationwide jurisdiction at the time for that special unit.
Awesome.
Kasi that was the late Secretary Romulo's pet project.
I see. So ano, back to your old love na naman kayo.
Yeah.
Sa
No, what was
Trade and economic,
What was exciting about that was so we talk about tatlo kasi kami, no?
oh,
We talk about okay, territorial tayo, jurisdiction. So I handled the West Coast, no?
oh, okay.
So I handled California, well, San Francisco, familiar ako dyan, LA, San Diego, all the way up to Washington State, then Colorado, all the way down to Las Vegas, diba? So that was a good place.
Yeah.
And one thing I realized when we were doing the things that other countries were doing, the Chinese were always there. Kasi we dealt with chambers of commerce. What we do is we call on them, then we ask that we be given a chance to make a presentation about Philippine investment opportunities. That was the time of President Ramos.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we did a lot of that.
Did you think Ramos was your most favorite president or someone else?
So I enjoyed working with him. Number one, because he was responsible really for the turnaround of the Philippine economy.
Mhm.
Since the end of martial law, right? Since EDSA. That's number one. And number two, he's a very upbeat guy.
He's very hardworking.
Hardworking. He simply have to follow his work ethic, right?
Right.
He wakes up very early. In fact, you can't invite him really for breakfast. He will be there because he eats early.
He will be there.
Yeah, I mean, if we have, I'm talking about the presidential visits I handled
Mhm.
when he went here to New York.
Mhm.
He's early,
Like 6 a.m. Oh.
5 a.m. I think
Oh, gosh.
he does his jogging. Then after
Uh-huh.
that, he has his breakfast before 6.
Very
Right?
disciplined man.
Yeah, very disciplined.
Well, he's
The
a military
yeah,
leader.
The military discipline was strongly there. And then as early as 8, you can have a breakfast meeting with businessmen.
Uh-huh. So you're always up on your toes?
Yeah, and and he doesn't eat breakfast.
Kape lang?
Kape lang, lahat sila.
Kumakain.
Everybody eats breakfast. Oh, I'm finished.
Oh, kasi
They're
na,
also
5 a.m. pa.
At least there, no?
Oh my. Saan po in the wide range of your experience, where was the place that you love most?
It's still the United Kingdom. And I will just like to qualify. Although I was based in London,
UK.
yeah, I was the Consul General there.
Mhm.
We were accredited to 2 other countries. That's Ireland, the Republic of Ireland,
Mhm.
and Iceland. Okay. So I visited Ireland every 3 months.
Why? For a consular mission?
Yeah, consular mission, and of course also doing some of the political work that was delegated to me by the ambassador. Okay. And that made me really see, Ireland in a very different light. Kasi Ireland at that time was a little backward. Ganun ang thinking pa na, compared of course to the UK. But those were times when they were starting to become a real strong emerging economy in the EU. And secondly, Filipino nurses started going into Ireland. Reverse, di ba? Ireland was the biggest exporter of nurses in the world before. And this time we were
coming in.
Filipino nurses from the Middle East primarily were coming in. So that's the reason why I always went there. I dealt with many.
Because you had to take care of many nationals?
Not only providing consular services. We have an honorary consul there. No?
I see.
But more to give them what we usually call orientation briefing about
Is it the physical attributes of the place and the culture that made you decide that you love UK the most, including Britain and Ireland,
well
Scotland,
well
Wales?
well the beauty, well, one is really the place itself. I love it. Let me start with London.
Mm.
London is very much like New York in everything.
BCE.
You have everything that New York offers.
Mhm.
You have Broadway here. They have the West End.
Yeah, right.
And of course, their plays are really outstanding. And at the same time, if you want classical music,
Yeah, you also get it.
you also get it. It's similar to other countries in Western Europe, right? Now, when it comes to it, of course, it's more expensive there, but at the time, it has liberalized a lot, right? And China was exporting a lot already to the UK. So clothes were not exactly that expensive already,
Mhm.
or at least even appliances, because they open up to the world, right?
Mhm.
So there are places that you can really
It's livable.
get bargain
Oh,
bargain items.
mm. Ay, masarap yun. Gusto ko yun.
Di ba? Oo.
Okay.
And that's the time when all of these brands, the European brands like Zara, talking about yung mga gusto ng mga ano ko,
Uh-huh. Yeah, they're there. Yeah.
H&M,
Mhm.
you were there. Of course, Marks and Spencer, flagship nila yun, di ba?
Yeah.
Marks and Spencer. So, they were all over, no? Yung
Yeah.
tinatawag namin high street shops, right?
Mhm.
And this was replicated in all parts of the United Kingdom, right? So anywhere you go, you can have M&S and H&M.
So hindi ka na ano, you're in the correct time, current times of fashion and everything.
And another thing,
Uh-huh.
People there are not really in a hurry the way they're in a hurry in New York.
Yeah, yung parang
People
rat
here
race
are
talaga
always
tayo.
in a rush.
You're right.
Then they tend to be more laid back.
Mhm.
So the pace was just good.
Was not like exhausting in the
Yeah.
right from the start of the day, right? Good.
The other thing, since the embassy then was just beside Kensington Palace and
Oh,
Kensington Park was just beside,
did you see Princess
lunchtime,
Diana?
lunchtime you can always go to Kensington
Relaxing
Park and
din.
relax, right? So it's a good way to get off, the heavy work that we had in consular affairs, right?
Mhm.
Because I was the consul general there.
Oh my. Uh-huh. But it was therefore how are the children? They loved it there? Maybe they didn't want to leave.
Yeah, they love it because there's a difference between the education system of the UK and in the US.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is the honor system is very strong there. And number
Uh-huh.
two, we put a lot of responsibility to the student.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that was required of them was they need targets. What do you expect to learn this?
May goals talaga.
Yeah.
So the kids are trained to have
And,
goals
they
at
have
an
to have
early
goals,
age. Yeah. That's really nice. Like consciously they are being taught to do that.
And third, they have something like the Montessori.
Oh.
In a class, usually it's not desks that they have. They have round tables.
Mm-hmm.
30 in a class.
They see each other.
10, right? Actually, that's based on also their aptitude in math. It depends on the subject, right?
Mm-hmm.
Math and science, right? So if you are good in math, you tend to be with a group of students that are also good in math.
Oh.
So in other words, they look at the learning
like the levels.
levels of the different students
Mhm.
without making that so obvious.
Yeah, and then they would feel insecure, maybe, or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's a good
in other
system.
words, if you're in the same table as somebody who's not a slow learner, but is not faring so well,
Mhm.
at least you don't feel inferior, right?
Yeah, pare-pareho kayo. That's good.
And,
Very sensitive.
And the teacher usually gives more special attention to them.
Mhm. That's
So,
amazing.
so it's good. And you know how you fare because,
Right.
the children know that as well.
And that's a national system there.
That's the way I see it.
Mhm. That's good. So
And,
much.
and there's another thing there.
Mhm.
When it comes to what you call religious schools,
Yeah.
dito, nagsasara mga Catholic schools.
Yeah.
But
Very
doon,
steep, very
it's
hard.
fun.
Thriving.
It's thriving for the simple reason that the government funds.
Subsidizes.
Yeah,
Mm.
Catholic money. They do that for the Church of England, Catholic schools,
Oh,
and even
Protestant.
Islamic schools.
Oh, Islamic. Wow. That's very good to know. That's good. So the children, were they finding it hard to
And they have
leave?
public schools as well.
Uh-huh. So your two daughters, they were,
They went to Catholic schools.
mhm, and they loved it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Ano mahirap na part being a diplomat?
Well, the hardest is really the fact that when you go to a place you won't stay that long, right?
Yeah,
And so you make the most of it.
yeah.
And sometimes when you start loving the people, you start loving the lifestyle, it's time to leave.
Oo. So emotional din somehow.
Yeah, and you have friends. Well, particularly in London, most of our friends there are still our friends now.
Well, you
But
maintain
thanks to
ties.
social media.
Uh-huh.
Thanks
Yeah.
to social media, we can communicate with them.
Mhm. Yeah. Coffee break. Thank you. That's good.
And thanks to social media.
Mhm. You're able to continue to connect, right?
Yeah, and the other thing is I didn't realize that my classmates from the US and also those who were in Europe learned I was there. So
Ah,
that's
so
more because
nagka,
of social media. So
nagka-trace kayo.
so we tend to sometimes meet in London, right?
Galing, galing.
Fun. That was
So, Amba, if you would have a second chance, would you still be a diplomat, or would you rather be a doctor or a businessman or whatever? Did you really love this job that you would do it again?
yes.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, yes. I'll do that.
Mhm.
Leave something different, I would be in finance.
Ah, okay.
It's my second love. You might not
Okay.
know, but I was assistant secretary for finance in the Department of Foreign Affairs twice.
Amazing.
I handled the
And you
budget of
loved it?
DFA.
Oh, DFA. Oh, I was thinking of the DBM. Sorry. There's a
No,
lot of
DFA,
bureaucracy
yeah.
at the DBA.
I'm talking about DFA.
Okay.
And you handle how many posts? 8? And you deal with all of them, right?
Uh-huh. Yung ganitong work nyo as a diplomat, it's very important to know cultures, right? Of people locally, um, like on a broader scale, buong America, buong UK. So how do you learn that? You don't get that from the books. You learn it by working and living there.
So you
So,
also have to read books. That's
mhm,
very important, right?
mhm,
But I think it's more of the person trying to understand the culture,
mhm,
because our task as diplomats is not merely to protect our nationals or to protect the national interest or to
mhm.
promote the country's economy, right? Our task is also to understand the host country so that we can be cultural interpreters.
Uh-huh. Okay,
Okay,
sounds good.
that's very important.
Mhm.
You're a cultural interpreter. For instance, many Filipinos,
Mm.
let's talk about the US to make it clear.
Yeah.
They don't really understand the strong check and balance here the way they do it in the Philippines. Our system is very similar to the
Yes.
US, right?
Structurally, supposedly.
Yeah, structurally by the Constitution.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But here, the check and balance is really very strong, right?
Right.
So in other words, you might get the yes of the executive branch, but if you don't get it in Congress,
Yeah, you're not going through.
then
You can't push through. Uh-huh.
you can't push through. There are many ways to do it, but they have to make sure that you get the support of also the executive. For instance, lobbying is very important here in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Filipinos don't usually lobby, right, their
Yes.
congressmen and all
No.
that for issues that matter to them.
Only, I think only the ones, the big businesses, they do the lobbying, but not local community organizations. Not so much. I couldn't sense it.
You know, that's something that got lost in the Philippines. When I just graduated from college, I remember some of the big corporations had
Mm.
lobbying groups with the UN, with the Philippine Congress.
And it got lost. It was gone.
Well, remember with martial law,
Oh, that's why.
it was abolished, right?
Right, right. Uh-huh.
So it did not really prosper. I mean, the notion of lobbying, but
Mhm.
we were in that direction already.
I see. So
When I
that's a
just
downside of
graduated.
our political life. Do you
Yeah,
think
I
so?
think so.
Uh-huh.
No, because if you can lobby, of course, it's more to the advantage of the big corporations.
Right, because they have the money.
But if smaller groups or smaller corporations can form a group,
Mhm.
a lobbyist group. For example, if you're a sugar refiner,
Right.
you can have a group, right? Or if you're a sugar buyer,
Yeah.
you can have a group.
I would like
and
to lobby for like the industrialize the malunggay. I would do that.
Hindi ba? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. No?
Mhm.
I mean, so that our congressmen will not only listen to the big businessmen who have the resources, diba? If lobbying is part of that.
Mhm. Do you have good hopes for prosperity in the Philippines these days?
They always had good hopes for it.
It depends on the people or the leadership.
Both.
Mhm.
It's always both. The leaders can only give the direction,
Mhm.
and they can enhance the environment for it to prosper.
Mhm.
Diba? That's the reason why during the time of President Ramos it happened, right?
Yeah, there was the echo boom was there. It was a byword,
Yeah,
economic boom.
the economic
Uh-huh.
boom was there.
Mhm.
Everyone was upbeat, right?
Uh-huh. We were vigorous. We were hopeful.
That's very important because the leader should inspire,
Mhm.
right? If there's no inspiration from the leader, then the people will feel.
Do you think Marcos is an inspiration enough?
Well, we still have to see, but he seems to be going in that direction.
Mhm.
I think he's trying to differentiate himself from the father.
We hope so, right?
And that's the hope of many people, I think.
Yeah. So any parting words po, Amba, on how to, let me do a general question, like how do you, you're a very important person, but you deal with people very respectfully. You in fact deal very wonderfully with us media people. So what's your secret to just, be cool as you are?
Well, first, you have to know how to listen.
Uh-huh.
That's one thing that I learned.
Mm.
when you talk to people, you listen, right? You just don't impose what you want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not the way.
Yeah, that's one way. Then you deal with them as an equal, not as somebody who's superior.
Oh, yeah.
That's the second, right?
Mhm.
And you have to talk in a language that you both understand. It's not a language that, if you're technocratic, for instance, you talk in a language some people don't really understand. That's why you have to always
Yeah, di ka
communicate.
maintindihan.
Diba? Communication is very important.
Mhm.
And lastly, I think you have to have flexibility and openness
Mhm.
to anything. I'm working with. Are you familiar with APICHA?
Hindi po.
It's the Asia Pacific Islander Community Health.
Oh, okay.
You deal with AIDS, no?
Mhm.
More for those that are sectors that are underserved, like Asia Pacific Islanders, Blacks, Latinos. And at the same time, we were given a community health center accreditation by the federal government. So you operate like just any clinic, but your mission is primarily to accept anybody, right? Even if you don't have insurance, right?
Mm.
It's like a community health center in the Philippines. We used to have that a lot. Do you
Oh.
remember that?
Yung mga sa barangay mismo.
Oo,
Yeah,
diba?
yeah. Barangay health center yata yun.
Yeah, but it used to be called the community health center as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In the early days,
Now
I
it's gone.
remember.
No more.
Yeah, kasi going back to my private sector days when I was with Wyatt,
Oh.
we used to give, S26 and Bona
Oh,
to
Bona.
these health centers, so that they can give it
To
to
the children.
yeah, not only the children but to women, who have to give the right food
To the children.
to the children, right? Diba? Kasi what we always say is the first year, it's the formation of the brain,
Correct.
diba? Of the infant.
That's why they have to be fully nourished.
They have to be full. They have to be rightly nourished.
Right.
Rightly nourished. Right? That's why iba nga infant formula. If you recall, nagkaroon ng issue dito sa infant formula, di ba?
Oo nga. Oo.
Remember that? You just can't give cow's milk to the infants, di ba? It's something like that. I remember the community health center. We had that in the Philippines. In here,
We can put that back again.
I think that's what, if I got it right, when I heard the president talk about the healthcare and so on, he mentioned that.
Hopefully, it's going to be para talagang down the ground level. So,
Yeah.
sorry po, what about New York? You were comparing it.
Yeah, I was comparing it to New York because in New York, it's very important that we have community health centers as well. That's why I decided to be not decided, they invited me to be a member of the board, and I accepted.
Yes,
so
yes.
I'm a member of the board of that.
So that keeps you busy.
Yeah, it keeps me busy, and at
That's
least
good.
it keeps me also abreast of what's happening to the community. Again, I'll have to repeat,
Yeah,
politics is really local.
yeah, you're right. So you have to win it here on the ground.
Yeah, you have to know what's going on the ground, what people are saying, what politicians here are doing, right? Or you can even talk about issues in Congress. or
The
even up in
federal,
executive,
yeah.
right?
So
That's
great.
one thing I learned being Consul General here. And even in the UK, that's the way they operate.
You have to be local.
You have to be local. You have to know the mayors. You have to know the congressmen.
That's what Filipinos should do, right?
And that's what they should have been doing for a long time.
God, yes.
If we are, the third largest. We used to be the second largest Asian ethnic group, right?
The first would be Mexican.
China. No, I'm
China. I
talking
mean,
about
the
Asian.
Asia. Sorry. China, India,
then Philippines.
Philippines. Used to be second, I know.
But look at the Indians. They have a lot of representation already in Congress.
They're focused to do that. They're like seriously doing it. Well, the Filipinos here are also trying to realize that and do that too. But it takes more effort po, Amba, right?
Yeah, one is the advantage of the Indians that I'm aware of is their businesses because they're entrepreneurs.
Oh,
Many of
entrepreneurial.
them are entrepreneurial. So what they do is since they have certain community concerns regarding their businesses, they contribute to political action committees.
Correct.
They've been doing that for a long
Conscious.
time already. Ever since my days in the consulate in the 90s, they've already been doing that.
Yeah, but on the other hand, we generally as a people are into the service sector, mostly nurses and teachers. So that may be the reason why we're not so entrepreneurial. That's why you don't do so much public life. Is that
Right.
one thing?
I've been thinking a lot about that. Why there are so few Filipinos who go, who risk to run for public office. And I think the main reason is many of us are professionals. Okay? And we work for corporations or
Yeah.
we work for big establishments, right? We have a few entrepreneurs,
Not much.
not much, right?
But in your time, Sir Amba, you were so invested into promoting the restaurants of the Filipinos, which is until now a very good, and it has become a tradition. So you saw that too. I believe you saw that
Yeah.
business spark there that we need to push for it.
Well, we really push for that because number one, if you always remembered my mantra was how do you raise the profile of Filipinos?
Yeah, you told me that. I mean, I heard you personally say that.
So one way is through food. Yeah, because in food you don't debate.
You
It's
eat.
either you like it or you don't,
Yeah, you just eat.
right?
Yeah, busog pa.
So if they feel good after eating Filipino food, then they get to understand more the
Our culture.
our culture as Filipinos, right? And if you can explain why our food is like that,
Yeah.
then they will understand
And we
why.
will talk of history.
Yeah, then you start
Of
going
provinces.
into other areas,
Mhm,
right?
mhm. That's a good,
So it's
really
a-
good take.
So it's a very good starting point. Food.
Congratulations and thank you for doing that. For introducing that and gathering everything, facilitating. That's what consulates do, and I personally feel that's what you did as a leader in your time here.
Yeah, we did that a lot, and we did a lot of lobbying in case you don't know, but we just did it
Lobbying
More-
with whom?
we did lobbying more for the veterans.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Yeah, we did that a lot.
I remember
for,
that,
for,
sir.
for the gold medal recognition.
Mhm.
But we just play second fiddle to the community groups because we don't want the legislators seeing the Philippine government's aggressive
Positioning.
stance there.
Oh.
Aggressive stance there. We have to play it in such a way that, and this is one thing I did pala.
Oh.
Whenever I do lobbying, I bring along leaders of the Filipino community with me. And so when I introduce myself to the congressman or the senators, Mr. Senator, Mr. Congressman, these are your constituents.
Oh, so that's the art of
Yeah,
it. Like
yeah.
not you positioning
Right,
much.
right.
Uh-huh.
They usually tell them that, and they tell them, you might wish to discuss local concerns with them later, but if you could kindly just listen to me about our concerns as Filipinos, which your constituents also agree with.
Yeah. So that's the style. Huh?
Yeah,
That's how
I
you finesse.
That's how to finesse it.
Uh-huh.
So it doesn't become a by.
Don't miss your life as a diplomat. I mean, considering how busy you are.
No, I still do it.
Oh, okay.
If you note, like yesterday, for the celebration of the 60th year of ordination of
Oh yeah.
Monsignor
Monsignor.
Oscar, right? Well, I did my testimonial.
So you're still
I
around.
Still play a role.
Yeah. You're still important. We still like scramble to invite you.
Oh, thank you for that. Kaya lang hindi ko naman tinatanggap lahat.
Oh
But
yeah,
whenever we're free, then we attend.
yeah. It's good to have you. It's really good to
In
have
fact,
you
we
around.
have standing invitations even in Boston. Sabi ko, tayo naman ang Boston. But
Mhm.
they're doing, I think they have an event there, a Filipino event.
Oh yeah, there's a festival.
Festival, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be sometime in September.
Yeah.
I hope you'll go there. I think I plugged it already.
That's a good one because they're also focusing, I think, in culture.
Yes, yes. There's the Cebu dancer there for the Sinulog. Yeah, that's amazing.
Galing nga eh.
So
Sabi
there's
ko,
so much
that's
ano
the way
here.
to do it.
Mhm. That's amazing. So, thank you for your time po, Amba. It's been really wonderful chatting with you.
Maraming salamat din. I hope you enjoyed our,
I very
our
much,
discussion.
very much po. Sandali. I'm gonna show myself. I'm here. Nandito po ako. It was a very great conversation with Amba at Mario De Leon. And now, we're going to finish our breakfast.
Hey, yeah, so I had a very wonderful conversation with Amba de Leon, and that was actually yesterday morning, and I had to chop it because it was quite long. It was a very long conversation, but very upbeat. I learned a lot, and we did a very enriching exchange of experiences and good questions, realizations. So that was cool. So I'd like to thank you for joining me, and remember to. I have to change the name there because I'm not Amba de Leon. I'm Marivir. Thank you so much for joining me today and hope to see you again in our next episodes. And again, thank you for the support you're giving to Awesome Blog all this time, Conversations with MM. So remember to share, remember to subscribe, and to make comments. We would appreciate it so much. So this is for now, and see you in our next episode. Thank you so much, and have a good one.